Hello friends, welcome to our channel. Today we'll be discussing on various cases, especially regarding Australia PR. So these case studies are especially for various occupations which are in high demand in Australia, and this particular video will really help people who are looking to apply for an Australian PR, or somebody who have applied but they have a lot of doubts in their mind. So hoping this video will clear those doubts. So please watch till end and do subscribe our channel so that we can create such contents in future. Hello ma'am, how are you?
I'm doing good, thank you. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. So, ma'am, since there's a great news from Australia that Australia have come up with a recent, quota. They're targeting 185,000 PR candidates in 2025, 2026. So that's a huge number. So that means the requirement is huge. So somebody who is eligible, they have a great chance to succeed in Australia PR. So today's video is all about case studies, ma'am. So I have few high demanded occupations, people. So I'll be asking you such questions related to occupations. So hoping your answers will motivate people who are looking to apply for an Australian PR.
Sure.
All right. So my first, case study is that, ma'am, so engineers in India, there are a lot of engineers. People are still pursuing it. People are, graduating, and these engineers really wanted to have a settled life. So many engineers really wanted to go abroad. Okay, because in abroad, they get high pay scale, a lot of benefits. So Australia have a huge demand of engineers, and I've seen people in the past. Many engineers have successfully migrated, and they're well settled in Australia. So this question is related to people who have just graduated, but they don't have an experience. All right. So do you still, recommend them Australia PR pathway?
Of course, I would, provided the applicant is having the required eligibility points, which all of you know is 65. And apart from that, there is a very specific requirement for Engineers Australia that the applicant who is filing the application should be in a position to provide a CDR, competency demonstration report, which comprises of 3 career episodes and one summary statement. So this is one of the ways that even a fresher can file the application without any experience or say 1 to 2 years of experience. In case if the applicant who does not have sufficient experience or no experience at all can also alternatively try and check if their university and their stream from where the university that they have passed out and the year they had passed out, whether their university and their stream is accredited to any of the pathway, accord pathway, which is like Washington Accord pathway, Sydney Accord pathway, and Dublin Accord pathway. So say my university, I'm an engineering graduate, B Mechanicum from Delhi Technical University in 2019. And when I checked the Washington Accord, I find that yes, DTU is accredited to Washington Accord in 2017, and my stream was also accredited in 2017. So in that case, I don't have to submit any CDR. Just on the basis of my qualification transcripts, my passport, my resume, I will be able to file my skill assessment with the Engineers Australia.
All right. So so this is something which is beneficial for somebody who have an experience also. Okay, because somebody who have 8 years of experience, and if their university falls under this one, they do not have to provide CA.
Yeah, yeah.
So all right. So this is something which will you so people who are having an experience and do not want to give CDR, they should check this. Yeah.
Though it would be, not very, I would say, a frequent case wherein we would find every university being aggregated to. But yes, we should not just let go of the opportunity in case if we find a challenge in getting the CDL. We should definitely try the alternative pathway to find out, do the research. There are proper links to it. You can definitely connect with your respective consultant. In motor files, we have our efficient case officers who would be able to tell the candidate, coming to us with no experience or maybe 1 year of experience, but whether the university, the year they are passed out, was it accredited to, and whether the stream is accredited to avoid CDR. But CDR, somebody having 1 year or 2 year experience, I'm very sure that they would be able to provide, 3 project reports, because here we need to understand that engineers or trainees are not at all concerned with the duration of the project that they have worked, because they just want to understand that how they have utilized the engineering application in those projects. The duration of the project might be a week, might be a month. But of course, the 60 points criteria also has to be met.
So that's a great update. Somebody who have an experience or who won't have an experience, and they don't want to give a CDR, they should check first. Please contact Holo Files Explore Visas. We will check and we will see whether it is important or mandatory for you to submit the CDR or not. So if your university is listed, then definitely we'll update you accordingly. So that's a great update, map. But especially, I want to focus on people who have recently graduated and looking to go abroad. So Australia have a great future. So let's take an example. A candidate age is 27. He's single. He has done B in mechanical. Now, how much point he will get if you can calculate
How many years of experience?
he own has an experience.
Okay, it does not even exceed this. So since it's 27, he would be getting 30 points against the age.
Okay.
And his university is in the New West of Australia. So for his bachelor's of engineering and mechanical, he would be getting 15. So that makes it 45. So you mentioned that he's single. So he gets 10 points bonus point for being single without spending anything. And he can easily clear the English test, because he can either go for IELTS or he can go for PTE. So even if he has a score of 7 on each module or 65 on each module, to be a little conservative, he would get 10 points out there. And rest of the points he can take from state sponsorship, which is SPY. He files his application on the 491, he gets additional 10 points for it.
Okay, yes, that means if he's 27 in age, he gets the maximum one, that is 30.
Yeah.
And in education, he gets
15 private universities in the news and
so being single, he gets 10 points. And if he gets PT, he gets 79 and lights.
That's been little conservative.
So let's take it on the highly reside.
Okay, you take both 6.
So somebody who don't have an experience and they have to give their best. Sure, they are not getting any points from multi experience. So they should give more focus on the English test to grab more points. So if we consider he gets 20 points, and if he gives NATI examination,
That can be at a later part. Once his application is in the skill, selection pool, then we can definitely try increasing his points.
say without NATI, without stay or without small 91, still he is reaching to 75. So that's a great score, because I've recently seen engineering candidates are getting selected at 65, 70, 75. So that's a great score.
Yes.
All right. So people who are an engineer, so please consider this pathway. Even do not have an experience. If you are eligible, please file your application. Contact us. We'll definitely guide you. All right. My next, query is the case study is related to ECS. All right. IT is an occupation which is in high demand in Australia. So this question is related to a candidate. He have an experience of 8 years, ma'am, into a software engineer. As a software engineer, he's working, but he do not have an education related to IT. He have some certification, but he's working as a software engineer. So will he be qualifying to apply for an Australian PR? Because I have got to know that in ACS the authority is directing some point under suitability. So if you can, you know, give some insight about this particular topic, that will be a great help.
So you just mentioned that the candidate that you are currently referring to has 5 years or
8 years of age.
8 years and a BE in civil.
He has done BCom. He's got 30%, no non-IT education.
Got it. So ACS definitely gives an opportunity to candidates having relevant IT experience, but for some reason does not have a relevant IT education. So if we consider BCom, BCom is 100% non-IT education. So it is coming under non-ICT major, where the candidate has studied less than 20% of ICT related subjects. So if I say BCom, I don't think that the candidate has touch-based anything related to ICT. So in that case, ACS is going to deduct 6 years of his experience. So from 8 years, 6 years gets deducted, and 3 years would be considered towards his working experience. So I think that the candidate is not only eligible, would have got fair chance, and ultimately when he ventures out in the job market, he really does not have to worry that he's carrying 8 years of experience. Would employers not be acknowledging his 8 years of experience? They would certainly be. But when it comes to immigration, the candidates have to remember that they have to comply with the immigration requirement, and that is one of the major requirement of ACS, that if you have 100% non-IT education, they would deduct from your experience 6 years. After 6 years, whatever is remaining is calculated towards the points for the work experience.
All right. So somebody who have a very less experience, so at least how many minimum experience the candidate should have if they do not have a 100% or relevant education.
See, calculation is very simple. If you have 100% IT education, that is ICT major,
Yes.
with 2 years of experience, also we can find.
Okay.
If you are having 50% ICT or 50% IT education, or you can say ICT minor, then at least 4 years of experience. It is non-ICT, that is 100% non-IT education, then at least 6 years of experience is.
In only be 5 years of payout. Okay, so in India there are many candidates who fall under this particular category, wherein they do not have an IT education, but still they work under IT. Okay, so they should have minimum 6 years of experience to apply for an Australian PR, because the first stage of the process, that is called a skill assessment. So the ACS will require 6 years to evaluate your skills. Correct, ma'am?
Yes, if it is 100% non.
Alone IT. Yes, yes. For any clarification, any more doubts, please reach out to Order 564 Visas. We are there to help you out. All right. Thank you so much, ma'am, for clarifying this particular deduction that is called as suitability. So more people, uh, get very confused when it comes to filing their ACs, especially people who are not who are not from an IT education. Okay. So hoping this will clarify and motivate people to fight properly. So now my third, is in a case study that is specially for an occupation, which I believe the demand in Australia is huge, but people are not knowing that they have a great demand of their occupation. So I have seen very few candidates come to us for filing their application. So this particular occupation is called is social worker. So that's a huge demand map. So if you can give us more knowledge about social worker, the eligibility, because in India there are a lot of social workers. Okay, and in abroad, in Australia, especially if I talk about Australia, the requirement is high, and plus the kind of pay scales are huge, and they can have a certain life. So people are not knowing it. Maybe that's why they are not taking an initiative to reach out to us. Okay, so through this video, if we can, give some information to our social worker who are in India, so maybe they can, apply for an Australian PR.
Sure. See, social work has huge opportunity in Australia, and it has been listed under the skill shortage occupation list for years now. Now, if we talk about social worker, the relevant skill assessment authority for it is Australian Association of Social Worker. And to qualify as a social worker, you need to have relevant education. When I say relevant education, it should be bachelor's in social work, master's in social work, or somebody has done bachelor's in sociology but has done master's in social work. That would also work because relevant qualification is essentially required for this particular occupation. Secondly, you also have to keep in mind that the candidate has 1000 hours of field work,
Okay.
which is common in the social work field, right? And the other very important requirement while filing for skill assessment for social worker is that the applicant needs to attend IELTS academic with no band less than 7 on, as in 7 on each module. This mandatorily required, but it's IELTS academic, not IELTS general, nor do they accept PTE. So if these three conditions are met, it is a perfect application. And trust me, the social workers definitely get picked up at less points. So it's a bit, as much as it's very competitive in Australia, where the demand is huge, and it is available under all the subclass 189, 190, and 491.
Okay, that's a great news for social worker. So I wanted to understand, ma'am, since there are three category of food, yeah, 189 surplus, 190 surplus, and 491. So in 189, there are, few occupations are used. So how they bifurcated?
See, it's something where the government would conduct a research to identify which are the occupations which are equally in demand across entire Australia. They want to make things more streamlined, right? So they do our research state-wise to identify in which particular state or region some occupations are more in demand. So you would see that occupations which are featured under 189 would usually feature even under 190 or 491 as well. But there are occupations might be not equally in demand across entire Australia, but very specific to certain states. So they would more often feature under 190 or 491.
All right. So the occupations which we have discussed, like a mechanical engineer, so they fall under 180, madam.
They fall under 189, 190, 491.
Great. Software engineer,
Same.
social worker.
Same. But as in don't pedant because now it's almost the end of the financial year for Australia. So the quotas are almost closed.
Yes.
So the 25-26 quota is, we have already mentioned, has been released. But yes, the states and the regions would start opening up very soon. So you don't wait for the state or the regions to open up because skill assessment is definitely not, depending on the quota. It has nothing to do whether the state is open or the region is open. They will do their work, right? And if the states are on work, they know that the quotas for 24, 25 has been reached. They are closing it and they're preparing for the new opening, which is next month.
So definitely the people who are eligible to apply for PR, they have a great chance. So since we are actually discussing on the occupations which are available in 189, 190 and 491. So that means there's a great demand. So if you're eligible, please don't miss this opportunity. Make your PR dream come true in 2025 or 2026. All right, so please apply. So thank you so much, ma'am, for covering social worker for us. So I hope we start getting more candidates from this particular occupation. So, and my last, occupation, that is chef. Once again, a great, opportunities available in Australia for chef. So if you can, you know, throw some lights on this particular occupation, that will be on great help for our chefs, Indian chefs.
See, tourism is at its peak in Australia. Chefs has always been in demand. They are they are having a fantastic life in Australia because the average earning for a chef in Australia starts from nothing less than 65, 70,000 AUD and can go up to 1 lakh 20, 1 lakh 30,000 AUD. But there are few things that an applicant as a chef needs to remember, that in case you have a relevant education, that even 3 years of experience is workable. In case you don't have a relevant education, that 5 years of experience is um, mandatorily required. But what we need to remember, that at least 12 months of experience in the last 3 years is essentially required. And a chef, if we talk about the skill assessment, comprises of two major stages. One is documentation evidence assessment. So once the assessment of documents comes as positive, then we move into the next stage, which is technical interview or practical assessment. That would be decided by the skill assessment officer, which one you'd like to offer.
It's not three stages which they
It would be two.
admit.
It would be two, not three.
Okay.
Right? So once the skill assessment, the entire skill assessment is done, that of course meant the common thing of getting into the selection pool. So not having relevant education, working in the shift, right, would qualify, provided 5 years of experience is there, with 65 points, has a relevant education, 3 years of experience is good to go. But whichever is the case, we need to remember the 12 months of experience in the last 3 years is mandatorily required.
All right. So guys, I hope this video have given you some information, and this can really help you out in filing your application, or somebody who have filed it, they're still confused. Please reach out to 405 Export Visas Private Limited. I will definitely help you out. So thank you so much. Please subscribe our channel. Thank you. Thank you, Babu.